And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Augusta area, home of the 2018 Icebreaker Invitational. As we head into another broadcast, this matchup features the Southern Kings taking on the Carolina Wolves, one of their 16 U squads. Carolina Wolves with the first possession. They can't get that shot to go. It'll be the Southern Kings bringing it the other way. That's number 9 with the ball. That's Dykes King. King with it up top. Appreciate you joining us for day 2 of the event. Our first day of broadcast as we see Dykes King get things started. Gets that one to go off the glass to make it 2-0. Contested mid-range J might have even been partially blocked. Southern Kings coming the other way. Good usage of the 2 steps. Nice little left hand lay there courtesy of number 24. That's Zy Wright. Zy Wright out of Aquinas. A 2017-2018 season state champion there on the Aquinas side of things. That high school season's done with, but hey, can't help but to take some of that momentum into the travel season. You win an opportunity or you win a milestone like that, only makes you hungrier to get the next one. So much respect to the Aquinas Fighting Irish. A couple Aquinas representatives on this squad. We'll get into that more and more as the game goes on. A 4-0 ball game in favor of Southern Kings. Nice action. Got a little bit under the rim there on the alley-oop attempt. With reinforcements coming in the form of number 6, Robert Johnson. That's going to prompt the Carolina Wolves timeout. As it's an early 6-0 lead in favor of the Southern Kings. We take a look at the Icebreaker Invitational instant replay. You see the action there rolling around that screen. As he was way too far under the rim to try to finish that one. But again, it's good motion, good action towards the rim. Good things happen when you make that type of possibility a reality. As Robert Johnson comes in on the offensive glass, the Hepzibah representative makes it 6-0 here at this year's Icebreaker Invitational. If you missed some of the earlier action, you can check some games on replay. The full games on demand. You had Carolina Raptors taking on Team Forest in our first broadcast of the day. Team Forest got that victory. Georgia Stars took care of business against the 2019 Rebels in their matchup. And then in the last contest, it was Game Elite dropping one to a Team Charlotte team that looked good to say the least. They jumped out to a large lead, and Game Elite ended up closing the gap. I believe they lost by somewhere around 11 to 13 points, but they trailed by 20 plus for the majority of that contest. And then here you are with this one. Southern Kings, 6-point lead over the Wolves as we resume play. Baseline drive, no soup as you got 3 white jerseys converging on the baseline. Pass made ahead by Chris Williams. Williams finishing what he started. As Dykes King couldn't get the layup to go, Williams didn't give up on the play. He trailed it and was able to get that tip in. Now 8-0, pressure extended here for the Kings. How will the Wolves respond? They're just trying to get on the board. That 3-pointer and the string music that comes along with it, a pretty good way to start. That's number 10. For the Wolves, and an and one coming right back the other way. There is Robert Johnson. And ladies and gentlemen, sorry for that quick step away from the mic. Had to get a couple numbers straight on the Carolina Wolves side. Got to give both teams credit. They did a great job providing rosters beforehand. Even had height, school, all of that good stuff. Forgot to write down a couple numbers for some of those. So credit to the coaches for taking that extra effort. Eight to 12 ball game now in favor of the Southern Kings. Going to work on the block. Big fella denied inside. Get that out of here too. 2 blocks in one play, but the third one happens as a result of the persistence by Jonathan Taylor. The Laney Wildcat flips it up and in to make it 14-8. Some work going on inside. Big fella gets a block of his own there for Southern Kings. That was 49. Markel Ware there on that block, but it's the Wolves coming the other way. 6-point game. Stepping in for the mid-range J. Good to go for number 22. I've got to verify a few numbers. I've got number 22 listed as Trey Whitehead. I'm sure that's not the young man. Whitehead is at 6'6". So I have to verify a couple names on that Carolina Wolves roster there at halftime. Keep you abreast of that. Shot going to be tipped around. Now pass ahead for the Wolves. A little razzle-dazzle, but blocked out of bounds. A good move. It is knocked out of play by the Southern Kings. Carolina Wolves ball along the baseline. Shot off the mark. Rebound going to be brought down there by Jonathan Taylor. Traveling violation on the play. Ball knocked away. Here come the Kings. Trailing on the play there was number 1, Monte Garrett. Checking into the contest, it'll be number 32, Tyreek McDaniel. Four-point contest. Big fella had to pass slightly behind him. Couldn't hold on to it. Going the other way, we got a trip to the charity stripe coming for number 14. That's Kobe Stewart. Kobe Stewart, one of 2 Cross Creek guys here on this roster. So he'll head to the line and shoot 2 here in this 4-point contest. The young fella can't get that first free throw to go. Splits the pair and makes it 15-10. Southern Kings leading by 5. Patrick Carter Jr. hanging in the air, able to flip that one up off the glass. We mentioned state champions in Aquinas. That's the private A classification. You got a state champion making that bucket. He's playing for the Carolina Wolves, but he plays his high school ball in the state of Georgia. That's Patrick Carter Jr., a member of the Langston Hughes championship squad. You've probably heard about Landers Nolly, one of the best scorers in the country. But the young freshman that got the keys to run point a few games into the season, Patrick Carter, he had a big season that ended with his team hoisting the state championship banner. So we'll see how that carries over into the travel season and how he's able to build on it. A wide open three, and Kobe Stewart shows you what he does when you give him one. Knocks down the triple and makes it 18-12. Southern Kings poking pressure continues. That pass going to be knocked away as Markel Ware gives off his best safety impression. Knocks that one out of bounds. Got to see chance to see a couple familiar Augusta basketball faces there downstairs. You got Zep Jasper down there keeping the book. A few Laney Wildcats in this matchup. That I mentioned Christian Keeling in the Team Power broadcast that took place before this one. That team that had Christian Keeling, Zep Jasper. I got to think of some of the other. Colin Young was on that particular squad prior to transferring to Miller Grove. That was a loaded Laney squad that definitely made their presence felt in Atlanta and across the state. Speaking of making your presence felt, we look at the big fella, number 42 for the Carolina Wolves. I believe that's Trey Whitehead. Nice correction, Javon Benson, number 42. Again, I got to confirm those numbers at halftime. Saw two different versions, and as you can imagine, coaches didn't want to necessarily discuss rosters once this game had tipped off. So we'll make sure we update those numbers on the Carolina Wolves side there at halftime. 15-18 ball game as we've got a good one here. It looked like it would be on paper, and it has not disappointed. That shot way off the mark. Kings will come the other way. Baseline drive. Get that out of here. That one blocked with authority. A strong drive met with strong resistance there along the baseline. As we take a look at the Icebreaker Invitational instant replay, you're going to see a strong drive being made there by Chris Williams. No soup on the inside as Javon Benson smacks that away. Contested jumper there is off the mark. Here come the Wolves the other way. Pass ahead. That one a little bit too tall for its intended recipient. Kings will bring it the other way here in this three-point game. Kicking it into another gear, but having it knocked out of bounds there was Dykes King. King able to sneak it around the back door, fouled on the play. So he wanted the foul there on the first opportunity, didn't get it. Nifty cut will earn him a trip to the free throw line here. Southern Kings led by head coach Zoe Maynard. Carolina Wolves led by head coach Derek Crawford. So King at the free throw line. A lot of good media here in attendance. We got Nick Picks in the house as well. Catching up with a lot of the players. Great interviews, just talking about the game of basketball as well as the culture. 4-point contest. That one's going to be broken up. The Southern Kings pressure giving them trouble. Dykes King comes up, the reverse, and one. Hoop and the horn for Dykes King, who's been active at the free throw line here over the past few possessions. They haven't been able to keep him away from it. Difference is he got 2 points before he heads to the line here on this one. Right place, right time. Good awareness to know he had enough room to gather himself with that dribble and use the rim to shield off the defender. Job of using his body there on that one as well. Makes it a 6-point game. Rebound brought down by the Wolves. Caught in no man's land there after picking up the dribble. He'll get it back out. 3 from the top of the key. Back rims it. Rebound brought down by Dykes King, who's had a very active few minutes here. Trying to turn defense into offense. Has that one knocked away. Should be an easy, fast break for the Wolves. Slamming it home. Trey Whitehead out of Glen Hills. So a 4-point ball game as we are now under the 6-minute mark. The easy layup. Once he was able to get past the arm bar that last defender had there waiting for him. Nothing but an open lane there for Robert Johnson as he gets the easy layup. Guard out of Hepzibah makes it a 6-point contest. Directing traffic there. That's Tyshawn Briscoe. Briscoe. And one. So Briscoe able to take advantage of the defender getting held up in that screen just enough for him to curl around, drive hard right, get the rattle and the roll. Just short on the free throw attempt that is going to be rebounded by Chris Williams. 3 from the corner. Cash. String music courtesy of Zy Wright. Another member of the Aquinas Fighting Irish. He and Chris Williams, the 2 Aquinas representatives here on this roster. Whitehead wants it inside, looking to go to work. Fall away, jumper, no good. Rebound brought down by Robert Johnson. He turns it over. So that'll result in a trip to the free throw line here for the Carolina Wolves. Second chance points, or you don't want to allow second opportunities because they do what? They lead to second chance points. Number 23 for the Wolves cashes in on those. I believe that's Khalil Shaheed, but I have my spotter going and checking on that. Meanwhile, I can definitely verify that that's Zy Wright's second three-pointer. Back-to-back triples for Zy makes it 22-29. In a move, in a little bit of a groove here. Is number 23 for the Wolves. Seen him get more and more aggressive as this game is going on, just sort of lulls the defender to sleep. Rockabye to the rack. Gets the front end, and now back end free throws good to go. Looks like we are in store for a very good one here. 25-29 as we approach the 4-minute mark. Give and go, Zy Wright. No sir, says Whitehead. Smacks that one away. Wright sticks with it. Flips it up off the glass. Trying to answer back with a triple. No good. Nice box out there by Chris Williams on the board. Tommy Mansky drill type box out right there. Now Williams has it, spinning, dealing inside, colliding there with Whitehead, shot bothered. Wolves coming the other way. Back and forth, we go. Taking it right at the big man, sort of sized him up. Looked like he pushed him. Jonathan Taylor did, to where he kind of pushed him left just a little bit. Whitehead got caught flat-footed. He takes the easy right hand, right side layup. Offensive foul. Going to go against the big man. Zy Wright stepping up and taking the charge. So Zy Wright making his presence felt on both ends. Not only got 8 points here over the past 2 minutes or so, but he comes back, takes the charge on the other end, gets his team another possession. That one's short. As Robert Johnson has that one slip just a bit. So an 8-point game in favor of the Southern Kings. Whitehead with some well work inside. Another offensive board. This time it's on behalf of the Kings. Whitehead blocked that shot. Or actually didn't look like he blocked it. He just had an arm there. Jonathan Taylor dropped it, or was unable to avoid the violation. So a 6-point game. Whitehead wants it on the block again. Runs into a brick wall. Nice defense, defended nicely by Markel Ware there. There was no room to go. As Jonathan Taylor sneaks behind the defense, flips that one up and in. The Laney Wildcat makes it 27-35, an 8-point advantage now for the Southern Kings. Face up, hand in face there on the jumper. A nice splash there for number 7 for the Carolina Wolves. Couple substitutions coming in for Southern Kings. Number 14, Kobe Stewart back in, as well as number 28, Christian Chambers. Six-point contest. Weaving through a few red jerseys on the way to a nice bucket. Scored for number 28, Christian Chambers. Chambers out of Evans High School. Whitehead back the other way with a chin up on the rim. Nice to respond with 2 points. If you can rattle the rim in the process, even better. 6-point game as we approach the final 30 seconds or so of the first half. Baseline drive, that one partially blocked. Southern Kings retaining possession, in need of a lifeline. Did he get the timeout before the travel was called? Yes, he did. Southern Kings getting the timeout just in the nick of time. As you see 3 defenders there, 2 in red jerseys, the other one being that sideline. He is able to get the timeout in time as we head to a timeout here from the 2018 Icebreaker Invitational.
Did you know that you can have all kinds of delicious food from your favorite local restaurants delivered right to your door? I know, I just blew your mind. All you have to do is go to choices2you.com. Choose from a list of great local restaurants, pick what you want right from their menu, and Choices to You will deliver it to your home or office. It's that easy. Get real restaurant food from the places you love delivered right to your door. Choices2you.com. Eat out without going out.
Thanks for joining us back on SUV TV as we are ready to resume play. 6-point game in favor of the Southern Kings. We'll see if they hold for the last possession here. That question's answered. That traveling violation going to send it the other way. So it will be the Carolina Wolves that should get a chance to get the last shot on goal. Here in the first half. Whitehead sets the screen. That shot's blocked by Markel Ware. They got a couple seconds to get it off. Can he beat the buzzer? Yes, he can. Left-hand layup. And that is how the first half will end. A Markel Ware block, an assist, an easy layup for Jonathan Taylor. Thanks for watching the Icebreaker Invitational here on SUV TV. Markel Ware, he's been great on the defensive end as it leads to another bucket there with the Jonathan Taylor layup. We'll be back after the half.
The 360, he throws it down. He'll come off the double screen to the left. Oh, and wide open underneath. Sexton goes step back, fade away three. Oh, my goodness. Colin Sexton. In the lane by Tracy. Here's Williamson making his way around one tight. Now hustling it toward the lane and throws it down. That's what the crowd had been waiting on. A fantastic dunk coming in by Williamson. Trent, off balance jumper. Nailed it. Pierre to Gary Trent Jr. And oh my goodness, that's how you end the game, folks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us for the second half. Wanted to make sure we had the names and numbers right for the Carolina Wolves as we get rolling. And we got that young man's name right for sure. That's number 42, Javon Benson, and one slam. You want to get a name right, even if it's a layup or free throw, you want to give players that just do. But when you make a poster or you put a few guys in one, you certainly want to make that name right. Javon Benson, and one. Seven-point game. Southern Kings have led for the majority of this contest. Benson changes that shot. Benson loses the handle. Kings coming the other way. Pass is going to be broken up. Nice hustle there by Khalil Shaheed, but he cannot stay in bounds. Seven-point game, Southern Kings to inbound. Tough floater on the inside. It was deflected by a couple hands, it seemed like, but sticking with it is Christian Chambers. Chambers pushes the lead to 9 points. Back inside to Javon Benson. Benson going to be fouled, but it looks like it's going to go against Markel Ware. That matchup between Javon Benson and Markel Ware has been a fun one to watch. Both guys don't mind mixing it up inside. It's been physical in there and some good defense played. 9-point contest, and Khalil Shaheed called for the travel. Looked like he kept that pivot foot still from my angle. But I'm not wearing stripes, so the call stands accordingly. A 9-point game as we're under the 13-minute mark. Chest to chest, and one. Too strong on the inside there. That's Zy Wright. It's another thing for the price to be right. Here, that weight room work is right there for Zy. As he eats the contact, flips that one up off the glass and makes it an 11-point contest. So a 12-point lead now for the Southern Kings. Largest lead of the contest. They get it inside to Benson. He's trying to do something about it. Denied inside. A jump ball. Help defense slid over. Christian Chambers got a hand on the ball. Good clean defense there. Forced the jump ball. Possession arrow. It's going to keep it with the Carolina Wolves. And also, thanks for the heads up, Cam Gibbons. Had to get some of those numbers right as that reverse is off. Ty Turner is number 22. So we got rosters locked and loaded. We got a good game going here, but Southern Kings trying to make it a little less interesting as they're trying to further this lead. Javon Benson isn't going. And one. Had the huge slam just a few minutes ago here. This one won't make anybody's highlight reel probably, but it's just as valuable. Give me that rebound inside, takes Markel Ware up for the ride and lays it in. And that's not an easy task because Ware has defended him well. Anytime that Benson has scored against Ware, it's just been better offense. It hasn't been from poor defense on Markel Ware's side of things. As the two big guys get tied up on the other end, and a traveling violation going to go against the Kings, so it'll give the ball back to the Carolina Wolves. Three-pointer No good on the shot. Benson tipped it around, tried to stay in bounds. Unable to do so, and now the Kings will bring it the other way. I'm waiting for the Carolina Wolves' Patrick Carter to be a little bit more aggressive. And obviously, he doesn't have to force things, but he's an impact player. That time, it was Christian Chambers choosing to make an impact there, though, as he takes Carter to the rack, gets a layup to make it a 14-point contest. Christian Chambers out of Evans. Take off, foul inside. We're going to have a trip to the line coming for Ty Turner. So Ty Turner at the free throw line has a chance to bring his 14-point lead down to 12 points. As he looked like he had some intentions there as he took flight there on that last one. A foul will send him straight to the line. So we'll have a 30-second timeout. We'll take a 30 with them. 38-52. Southern Kings leading, actually 39-52. The Wolves have pulled to within 13.
Introducing Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Sports Motion Analysis, powered by Dartfish, giving parents and young athletes frame-by-frame feedback on how to minimize injury and maximize performance. Upload your videos, visit our clinic, or let our specialists come to you. No matter the sport you play, Children's helps young athletes take their game to the next level.
And welcome back here to North Augusta, as the Icebreaker Invitational has once again descended here upon the CSRA area to tip off another travel ball season. The Southern Kings leading by 13 over the Carolina Wolves. Southern Kings have tried to stress this lead out a little bit more over the past 2 minutes, but the Wolves have done enough to make sure it doesn't get too out of hand. They force a turnover there as there's a foul off the ball. It's going to go against Markel Ware. Wolves trying to inbound it. They just get it in the nick of time, in the hands of Patrick Carter Jr. Carter Jr. guarded by Chambers. Now he'll hand it off. It's Monte Garrett with the ball. They want to get it inside. Anytime the big fella gets that low, it's going to be a problem. He's 6'8", and he has no problem using every bit of that 6'8". They get it into Javon Benson, who gets it up over the wall, and Markel Ware. We'll see if Ware tries to answer back. Takes it right at the big fella's chest. No suit on the inside. Benson with the block. Wolves looking to turn it into offense. Off arm to create some space. But getting a trip to the line, there is number 7 for the Wolves. That's Trey Whitehead. As you can kind of see Christian Chambers sort of gesturing to say it was Whitehead that sort of pushed off a little bit. As you see Whitehead get that arm ready. A pretty nice job by Chambers just to even be able to contest there, with Whitehead creating some space with those long arms. 11-point contest. Ware a little overzealous there. They say he moved before he put the ball down. Call for the travel. A little bit of a bang-bang play there. But the officials get him for steps, and it'll go the other way. So the Wolves' deficit is 11 points. We'll see if they can cut it to single digits here. Garrett gets it in. A little bit of an extra dribble taken there by Whitehead, but all's well that ends well as the Glen Hills player makes it a 9-point game. They're within single digits now, are the Wolves. Little in and out dribble, freezing of the defender, but the shot won't go. Nice little sequence there for Christian Chambers. Couldn't get the bucket. Monte Garrett trying to answer on the other end. They'll say last touched by the Kings. Couple substitutions back in for the Southern Kings. It'll be number 24, Zy Wright, number 17, Chris Williams, as well as number 47, Jarius Burnett. Patrick Carter Jr. to trigger it in. Carter Jr. driving baseline. Fouled, and there's some contact there against Chris Williams. Williams holds his arm straight up. For the first part of that drive, he did do a good job of keeping his arms out of the picture, but if you take another look at the replay, you'll see towards the end of that drive, you'll see him sort of come down with the arms there. That was just enough contact for Carter to be able to get to the line. He makes good on the first free throw, pulls the Wolves to within 8. We're under the 9-minute mark here in the second half. Carter back rims the free throw, and the Wolves will get another opportunity. Driving along the baseline is Whitehead, gets it inside. Fall away jumper, and then just a little rust on that possession were the Wolves. When they had a shot inside, they got it into the big fella, the 6'5", Chase Smith. Smith couldn't really hold on to it. So once he got it to a guard, you think they bring it out and reset. They took a quick fall away jumper there. Not to say it's not one that they can't hit, but you can get that shot at any point in time during that possession. They're working hard on defense to make sure this gap doesn't increase. You like to see them get a better opportunity there on the offensive end. The pass ahead and the slam, courtesy of Trey Whitehead. Whitehead makes it a 6-point game. Take another look at that via the Icebreaker Invitational instant replay. Wouldn't have been possible without the nice pass. Play made right on the money by number 15, Monte Garrett. Trey Whitehead says, "I'll take it from here, Chief. Appreciate you." Trip to the free throw line here for number 47. That's Jarius Burnett. So getting some points out of that trip to the free throw line. It's an 8-point contest now. Vincent wanted a three-pointer. Or Carter wanted a three-pointer, couldn't get it to go. Kings driving on the other side. You had 3 red jerseys in the area, but you had 3 white jerseys literally attacking the glass. Attacking it versus just being in the area is going to win out all day, every day. Pushes the lead to 10 points, do the Kings. And it looks like we got a double foul. We got a double foul going to go against Javon Benson, number 42 for the Wolves, as well as number 47, Jarius Burnett for the Southern Kings. And Benson not happy with the double foul call. Feels like both guys were just jockeying for a position. Call's made nonetheless. 10-point game. Whitehead wanted it on the block. It took too long to get it to him. Stolen. Now here's Chambers the other way. Layup. Christian Chambers feeling right at home. Evans just a hop, skip, and a jump across the way. This has been a good game so far for Chambers. As the official makes another call there. Much respect to the officials. And we've just been texted saying Ty is number 1 there on the stream chat. They had a number 1 next to a Santana there on the roster. So Super J Swizzy Can you confirm Ty's first name and last name for me, and the fact that he's number 1 here on the stream chat? We'll make sure some teamwork makes the dream work. Want to make sure we get the young man's name right. I can only go off what's given me here on site, but I want to make sure we get it right. So Super J Swizzy, reply to the chat. Let us know we've got the right Ty and the right number 1 there for the Carolina Wolves. Three-pointer on the way. The southpaw jumper, no good. Benson skies for the rebound. That one slips through the hands of Benson, right to Chambers. Chambers thought about the pull-up, loses his footing, and we're going to have a trip to the line coming here for Jarius Burnett. Burnett gets bailed out there, was a little out of control as he lost his footing heading to the rack. But once the defenders leave their feet, the contact's made. Easy call for the officials. So Burnett at the free throw line. Makes it an 11-point game by knocking down the first one. Back into the game for the Wolves, number 23, Khalil Shaheed. Second free throw. Good for Burnett. So Burnett, he's gotten 4 free throws here over the past minute or so. He's knocked down all 4. 12-point game. They're working inside to Whitehead. Whitehead feels like he has an advantage inside. Exhibit A flexes some muscles on the way to the charity stripe as he has a chance for the three-point play the hard way. Trey Whitehead, a member of a Glen Hills team, and had a good season there in their classification here in Georgia. Looking to build on that even more. Gets the defender in the air and just throws his weight around. Flexes on the and one. Comes back, gets the free throw. 8-point game. The Kings have led for the majority of this contest. The Wolves trying to close the gap. Crucial point coming as we approach the 6-minute mark. Burnett hesitated for a second. I was going to say study long, study wrong, but looked like Burnett knew exactly what he wanted to do. Faces up there against Benson and splashes the baseline jumper. Benson wants it inside. We'll see if they do a little high-low with Whitehead instead. Whitehead with a jumper. Nice box out by Benson. Pass ahead as he gets behind the defense. SWAT team, that one knocked against the window there by Whitehead. Whitehead was open more momentarily. That gap closed up. Shaheed had it knocked away. Whitehead trying to do a little bit too much in the room of a phone booth. Had it poked away, and it looked like it hit off of his leg. So it'll be Southern Kings basketball. So score 52-62, a 10-point advantage for the Southern Kings. It'll be brought across there by Robert Johnson. Johnson being guarded by Garrett, and a nice job of defense by Garrett. Trying to force the 5 count. They don't get it, but a nice job of making them work for it, and we're going to have a foul there to call it on the floor. That's going to go against Benson. It'll be interesting to see what that brings Benson's foul total to. I don't see anybody being sent to the scorer's table just yet, so it must not be anything to overreact over. Skying for the rebound there along the baseline. A nice board there by Shaheed. Garrett freezes him with the in and out dribble, loses the ball on the way up though. Now here's Zy Wright. Wright fouled on the floor. Couple substitutions back in for the Carolina Wolves. It'll be number 10. That's Quentin Crawford. As well as what looks like number 31. You'll see that jersey's tucked in a little bit. I'll verify that that's a 31 in a second. Yes, it is a 31. Kings follow up with a bucket. 12-point lead now. A deep three. Nothing but net. Score that one for Ty Turner. So now I'm told Ty Briscoe is number 22. So Ty Briscoe is number 22. He's the one just knocked down that triple for the Carolina Wolves. Answering back on the other end, that's Jarris Burnett. Appreciate it, Cam Gibbons. I'll be giving about 2 or 3 different names and numbers for certain players. Appreciate you looking out there. So Ty Briscoe is number 22 for the Carolina Wolves. So back and forth we go. It's an 8-point game. Leaving his feet to pass the ball, there was Robert Johnson. And I know a lot of times young kids watching the game, you might see it work out where people leave their feet and the pass ends up working out. That's fool's gold. It may work out sometimes, but you put yourself in a tough position when you leave your feet to pass the ball. Sometimes it works, but it's not a practice, not a habit that you want to make. As we have a traveling violation. A tough call there as you had an official that was a little bit closer to that, didn't make that call. The far court official makes it. But hey, it is what it is. We head to the other side, 58-66. Briscoe kicks it to the corner, a 3-ball on the way. A good look, can't get it to go there. Could Quentin Crawford. Chambers, no, not on the inside, not in Javon Benson's house. So he gets another block to add to the collection. I could be wrong, but I don't think Benson has sat a single minute here in this contest. And give Markel Ware credit, he hasn't sat down much either. A volleyball line 3 taken there by Briscoe. He can't get it to go. Benson thought he was going to block another one. He can't get that one to go. Markel Ware finishes or follows. He can't finish, but Zy Wright does. So a 10-point game, and that might just about do it for the Wolves. You know, they're going to keep fighting, but mathematically, time is not on their side. And I don't think the energy category is either, as Southern Kings just seems to be putting a little bit more effort on the offensive glass, as you saw Zy Wright nearly come up with another offensive board. Stop and pop 3-ball, short. So that 3-ball comes up short. I think the legs for the Carolina Wolves just sort of wearing thin a little bit. This is early in the travel season. A big part of it being the Icebreaker is being able to see some good competition, but you're getting your team in that type of shape that will help once you get towards that live period as things sort of gel a little bit with all of the travel teams. But you see the Southern Kings just with a little bit more pep in their step than the Carolina Wolves at this point. And I think a big part of that has been the energy that the Wolves have had to put into making sure that this lead didn't balloon up to something a lot more unmanageable. But when you put in that much energy to keep the lead from growing, sometimes you don't always have it in the tank to finally close the gap. And I think that's what you're running into here with the Carolina Wolves, is now you'll probably start seeing more fouls to try to send the Kings to the free throw line a little bit, see if they can get some points without as much time running off the clock. They'll foul Dykes King. Going to be joined here on the mic by my guy Nick Dennis, also known as Nick's Picks. Probably seen him interviewing some of the best players, not only here in the region, but also in the country there through his Nick's Picks brand. Nick, man, how's it feel to be a part of this year's Icebreaker? Is this your first time here at an Icebreaker Invitational, or are you a regular?
Yeah, so it's actually my first time.
Okay. What have you thought about the tournament so far?
You know, I think it's what you said. It's the icebreaker. It's literally, you know, breaking the ice, getting the legs warm and ready for the season, for the live period. Some good teams out here, but you can tell it's a little, you know, might be a little sloppy. Still getting used to it.
Most definitely. That's what it's all about. I think too many times, whether it's fans or whether it's fan bases, you know, people just make knee-jerk reactions when you got to give teams time to sort of develop. Yes, it's basketball. It is a game that is not easy, but it is as simple as you can make it. But it takes time for all of these individual pieces to come from the systems and the teams that they played on in high school ball to now gelling and getting ready for the April live period. So I think the icebreaker is just a great job of sort of helping them get the ball rolling there. So we got a technical foul. A technical foul has been assessed. I believe it's going to go against number 22 for the Wolves. It's going to go against Tyshawn Briscoe, as he will be called for the technical. A little bit of frustration there for the Wolves. There have been a couple ticky-tack calls here over the past few minutes, and I say that with all respect to the officials. But when you look at travel basketball, you expect there to be a little bit more contact. You want guys to be able to play through a little bit more contact, because when it comes to the April evaluation period, yeah, a coach can see you go to the free throw line and knock down free throws, but to be honest, they're not flying out to a live event to see that. They want to see you play through contact.
Right. Now the question is, Nick Pitts wants to know, when are you gonna have me do some interviews for SUV TV?
Oh man, we gotta look at that. We gotta get you started in the G League first, and then we gotta work with you on the call up. But
all right.
But no, man, you've done a great job with your interviews. I say it's only a matter of time, man, for you to be able to get to that point.
Thank you.
Mention some of for those that might not be familiar with Nick Pitts, just talk about some of the players that you've been able to interview just over the course of doing what you've done.
Okay, wow. So I actually had the opportunity, you know, let's start at the highest level and go down. I had the opportunity to interview some of the women's team USA when they went to Columbia. You know, the head coach is Don Staley, so I got a chance to interview them. And then going down to high school, a hot team right now, Game Elite. Well, last year, but Josh Nickelberry and Ashton got to interview some of those. And
Ashton Hagens, for those that don't know, fresh off of a Kentucky offer this past week.
Right. And this is in your backyard. I've interviewed Norcross High School, pretty much, you know, most of the team. And I think they made a deep playoff run this year.
They did. They actually lost in the state championship to a team that they had beaten 3 previous times, a team in their region, a Meadow Creek team that had some of the best defense in the state. But like you said, man, I remember you sitting down with Kyle Sturtevant, who's one of the best guards. He's a class of 2019 guard, one of the best in the country at getting downhill. You caught up with JoJo Toppin, who was committed to Georgia. I think he's deciding whether or not he's still staying there with Tom Crean being a new hire there. But JoJo Toppin, a player to keep an eye on. And
yes, JoJo. I like JoJo. He's a great kid. Great kid.
Yeah, he is, man. And he's one of those guys. You see the development. He was a great guy off the bench last year. He was always locked in. He affected the game when he was in it. But his development between last season, through the offseason, through the start of this season, but then you saw him get better during the high school season. So that guy's learning curve and his ability to put the work in and get better, he's going to be a guy to keep an eye on at that college level, man. Don't be surprised if the guy makes it to the pro level.
Yes, sir.
That free throw's off the mark. It's a 12-point game. Rebound's going to be missed. Now, I like broadcasting ball in this area, because even though you've got teams coming from everywhere, we're based in the Atlanta area, so we know it's a lot of good ball that way. But a lot of time, the Augusta and the Carolinas ball can kind of be slept on. And maybe not North Carolina as much, because I feel like with it being such a hoop state, I don't feel like it's slept on as much as a lot of times South Carolina players and Augusta, Georgia area players are slept on. One of my favorite teams to watch was that Laney team a few years back. I mentioned Zep Jasper, Christian Keeling, Colin Young, those guys. But then You know, even when you look at Glenn Hills and Laney on the boys' side, they were in the hunt there for the championships in Georgia. Laney girls basketball, the Shea Benjamin, she's one of the best girls players in the country, headed to Alabama. She's a walking 20-piece nugget, man. She gets 20 in her sleep.
Now, that's a question I would have for you. You being, you know, in Atlanta, is Augusta, is that a different type of basketball, or is it still, you know, because Georgia's a hoop state to me as well.
Yep. I won't say it's a different type of basketball, because I think at the end of the day, tight defense, knocking down shots, and certain elements, they're going to translate everywhere. But I think the brand of basketball is kind of different on the area, because I think some of the places where you're from, it factors in. Right. I think a lot of times with Augusta teams, even though you got teams that play hard in Atlanta, the Augusta teams often play with a chip on their shoulder, as if to say, look, we play ball in Augusta too.
Right.
You know, we play just as good a ball in the CSRA as you guys do. We might not get as much fanfare and buzz, but we play ball as well. And that's why I think when you look at a team like an Aquinas that won the private A classification in Georgia, they played with that chip. Coach Darren Douglas, I think he coaches with that chip and that type of approach, and I think that they reflect it. So I think when you look at different areas, the ball might be the same as far as the principles, but I think the chip on the shoulder, the background, and the context, that varies depending on the team and the area.
Okay.
Most definitely, man. So I appreciate you joining us. I am Marcus Burnett. He is Nick Dennis, also known as Nick's Picks. Give me your information for social media, man, where they can follow you.
So my social media is at @Nicks.Picks_, and that's my Instagram. And you can also find my YouTube through my Instagram.
So you got a lot of full game replays you can check on SUV TV to get some more of the behind the scenes, some of the sit downs with a lot of players from different sides. Be able to check out Nick's Picks. We appreciate you joining us here at the Icebreaker Invitational here on SUV TV.